strange signal. Here, sir, you better take a look at it.
Hello listeners, and welcome to a new series on Life Through a Prism podcast with your host Rob Tierney. And in this series I'm going to share about my experiences with conversion therapy. That was a big part of my life from 1986 to about 2005, and at the moment, in a lot of places, but especially where I live in Tasmania and in Australia, conversion therapy is still legal. In this series, I'm going to just talk about my experience. Over the years, I have tried to have conversations with people and end up finding that they've been very negative, and I've found myself a lot worse off for it. So for people who are very strongly inclined one way, with a positive way, for conversion therapy, I'm not here to have a discussion with you on that. What I'm here is just to share my story and my experience, which is personal to me. In this series today, the first episode, I'm going to talk about the definitions of what conversion therapy is. And I'm going to give you the Wikipedia, the Oxford Dictionary definition, and what is my definition of conversion therapy, considering my experiences. So the Oxford Dictionary definition of conversion therapy is the practice of attempting to cause a non-heterosexual person to become heterosexual by using psychoanalysis, behaviour modification, spiritual counselling, etc. Wikipedia: conversion therapy is the pseudo-scientific practice of attempting to change an individual's sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression to align with heterosexual and cisgender gender norms, as in the gender that you were born at birth. In contrast to evidence-based medicine and clinical guidance, such practices typically view homosexuality and gender variance as unnatural or unhealthy. There is a scientific consensus that conversion therapy is ineffective at changing a person's sexual orientation or gender identity, and that it frequently causes significant long-term psychological harm in individuals who undergo it. What is my definition of conversion therapy, considering my experiences going through it? You are told you're broken. You need fixing. You can only be accepted and live a normal life, in inverted commas, if you repent, change your ways, turn around and stop the sinful behaviour. I wanted this to be a discussion where I felt that I should talk about my experiences in a safe way. I needed some guidance how I could do that, so I googled that question, how to talk about conversion therapy safely. And there is no way to discuss this safely. It's a horrendous practice that can leave people scarred psychologically for life. And for some, the only way to find peace is to no longer be on this earth. In this series, I can only talk about my experiences and how I am still here, working through and slowly finding healing as the years go by. At times I know this will probably be very raw and very emotional, but at this time in my life at 52, it's time for me to tell my story and the people who have come into my life to help me on my journey. This subject may find you with all sorts of emotions and feelings. For those that are in Australia, there will be links in the show notes on where to reach out for help, support and understanding. There are three principles that when you are, and I'm going to use the term cult because the behaviour of what I was involved in can no other be described as a cult, and we'll look at the next session at what the definition of a cult is. When you're going through the process of coming out of these experiences, the experts say there are 3 identities that you identify with in your life when you are deconstructing, taking apart what you've come out from. The first, and I will talk about these each episode, there'll be one set aside talking about each one of these in regards to my journey. So the first one we'll be talking about will be identifying before that there was something lacking in my life. In the second one, a feeling of finding this great thing, a community and camaraderie which feels good at the time. And then the next subject will be when your world crumbles, and who I am now, and why I was vulnerable to these types of controlling factors. I've not felt that in the way of going out in the public and speaking about it is a way that I could help going before politicians, etc. So having a podcast gives me the opportunity, my own podcast gives me the opportunity to be able to speak about it in a way that I feel safe, even though it is taking a risk sharing. But I hope, listeners, that as this journey goes on, that you will find out, learn a bit more about myself, my journey, where I've come from, where I'm going, and I hope somewhere along the line that I may be able to just give some support. I'm hoping at the end of this series that people that have listened to it will find some hope. I'm still here, even though at times I've not wanted to be, and the people that have come into my life that have made a difference. And please come with me for this ride of its ups and its downs. Until next time, listeners, take care and bye for now.